Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 358. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Hello, and welcome to the Thunderdome. Coming to you hot.
When I do those intros, I do my best to throw people off the scent as best I can. Like it's predetermined what I'm going to say. Like, you know what I'm going to say this episode, you know what I'm going to say next episode. There's really no mixing it up.
What scent are you trying to? The
cadence, the particular words that I feel like putting an emphasis on that given episode.
The length of the...
That... The juice I come with when I'm dropping my co-host, Nate Reyes. Is it a Nate? Is it a Nate?
Yeah.
Just doing what I can, you know?
Yeah. Doing your part. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Everyone notices it. Everyone tells me about it.
Oh, it's global news.
It is, yeah.
I just
it's
had to address it.
on the bottom ticker right now.
Just had to address it.
Yeah. It's fair.
Shaking it up a little bit. Coming to you. Actually, I don't even know when I'm going to drop this. I haven't decided, but Nate and I are recording on a Wednesday night, so that's different. Nate, remind the people what you're up to this weekend.
I guess I got to stand there and take a lot of pictures and look pretty for my buddy's wedding. Got to wear a tux. Got a nice little haircut today. Trimmed the beard up nicely. Got to spend 9 hours in the airport tomorrow. So, yeah. Good old weddings. I got to stop making friends, I think. You know?
I mean, you're pretty like...
I gotta stop getting in weddings. I need to be a worse friend.
Yeah, but I mean, you're pretty like to yourself. You're not like... I mean, you do your work, you eat dinner, you watch a Yankees game, and you go to bed. Like, you're not out. You're not at the bar scene.
I know. People just like me. It's weird.
You're a likable guy.
Well, you know.
You're a good guy.
Yeah. So if Colin's listening, look out, buddy. Paige can't come, so Daddy's going to be a wild card.
Choose
Who
your
knows
words
what's going to
carefully.
happen? Daddy is going to be a wild card. Playing some golf on Friday. Might get a little loosey-goosey there. Rehearsal dinner could shake things up for people. You never know. You never know.
I'm going to try to make it a better habit to give you the floor right off the top, because the response on last episode's
Spider's still on
intro
the loose,
monologue. I was not expecting that, but the people loved it.
That Spider is, I don't even know. Imagine, I don't think people can comprehend how big this spider is, that the weight of the spider and the grasshopper together just fell. So, yeah, that's my life right now.
That's pretty, let's just say the spider's lacking some self-awareness to not even know his own weight and to be able to prepare himself a home.
I mean, he had an entire grasshopper to munch on.
You got to be better.
Went a little overboard.
You got to be better.
Yeah, I mean, look, whenever you want me to rattle off what's going on in old Nate world, you just let me know. I'm sure I always got something on deck.
We need to get you a solo pod. Just let it eat.
I'm gonna start a carnivore diet when I get back. Shout out Andrew. Was keeping me updated for a little bit on his progress with that. And I don't really like veggies anyway, so it kind of seems like a win-win for me. I'm a big sauce guy, though, so that's not going to be in
Not
the
ideal.
mix too much. And I do like my variety of drinks. You know what I mean? I like to be able to have different types of drinks. This is going to be a water-only thing. So
It'd be good for you.
I'm thinking I'm going to look real good this summer. I'm not going to go to the gym. That's stupid.
You know what's not stupid, Nate, is when we finally have a voicemail, which we do. And it's from
Let me guess, it's from AJ.
It's from none other than our guy, AJ
I think
Torres.
he's our only fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to complain. We're at the point now where it's almost part of the pod, you know, it's become like a staple. And there's arguably not a better fit for a voicemail. Just going off the voice, going off the points made.
We should give him a job.
The energy. Well, let's not get carried away.
Oh, all right.
We can barely pay. Can't even really pay ourselves yet. So,
got to keep the lights on.
Can't be throwing jobs around left and right.
Well, I mean, if you're interested or if you're tired of hearing AJ, why don't you call in yourself and leave a little voicemail for us?
Leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before we get
to who I'm talking to. That whole fantasy group chat that
but not even just them. We need to stop giving them
complaints.
So much love because we say, hey, call in, and they don't do anything. So we need
true.
We need to get back to the OGs. We need to get back to the new listeners. We need to spread the love a little bit. We need to invite them to leave a voicemail. And you know what? I always say, hey, the number's in the bio. Go call it. But I'm gonna go ahead and read off the number right now to make it easy.
There you go.
The voicemail number is 202 644 9302.
9302.
That's 202-644-9302. Go ahead, leave a voicemail.
Leave one, we will play it. It's that simple. We will respond. Maybe.
I do my best. I can't guarantee it because I realized I missed one or two by accident. They get mixed up in the spam messages that these telemarketers leave, and there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, let's get to AJ.
Fellas, AJ Torres, Danbury, Connecticut. So there are two things to bring up.
Always drops the city.
I really wanted your take on this. Now, this goes for the newer heads, older heads, and the guys in the middle. There's one thing that seems to be going across baseball at all levels, and that is the newer position that they're teaching catchers to have the one knee down. Now, when you talk to the older generation of baseball fans, it doesn't matter if it's Major League Baseball, it doesn't matter if it's high school, college, whatever. They think it's an absolute sham because they're starting to say that the art of catching is over. And I remember there's been so many times where we say, you know, if we go Major League Baseball, there's 5 catchers, if we're lucky, that actually hit well, and they're there taking up a roster spot because they play good defense. So I wanted your thoughts on that to see if we could get a little bit of clarity. And second off, it's been mentioned for a couple episodes now, and I just got to chime in about these, I'm just going to call them city uniforms. Now, Kyle, I have no idea if you're going to be able to relate to this. Nate, however, I know you kind of a little bit know a little bit more about basketball than Kyle does, but my thought was a couple years ago, the NBA was starting to do the city edition uniforms. Now, basketball is a lot different because you could take any superstar on any team and he might be traded in 6 months. It's kind of just how basketball goes. It's like, hey, we got the off season, and halfway through he's traded, he's gone. It's such a joke that American Express actually has rebates where, hey, if you bought a jersey and he gets traded within the year, they actually have like some sort of reimbursement. Not sure how that goes. But the whole thing about tying to the city, everything else, I'm with you guys. I'm starting to think that this is absolute just bull. And I'm starting to think it's really just a gimmick to have more merchandise to sell. And it's going to get to the point where it's going to get to my Yankees, and majority of the Yankee fans are going to say, if it's not the pinstripes or if it's not the road gray, I don't want it. And it's probably going to be the most basic thing ever, because it's just going to be one of those, hey, we're going to make it the navy blue with the logo in the corner to make it look like it's a spring training uniform. And they're going to mark it as quote unquote City Connect.
Is that it?
I think he probably kept going.
And they just cut him off.
They just cut him off. That's probably good though. AJ, it sounds like he could have went on for a couple hours.
He could have held that rant for a minute. Oh,
Point
boy.
taken though. Point taken.
Yeah.
The catching thing, I think you've made it pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's becoming a lost art.
Yeah, I think. Well, here's the thing: is that the stance in the setup has been taught over the last few years because, well, stolen bases weren't really a thing, not nearly what we're used to before, back in the day or now this era. The last few years, base running has been way down, and that's, why MLB came in with changes. But the style of catching with the one leg out was primarily focused on stealing strikes. Framing. That's what became more important than limiting, stolen bases. Blocking is something that kind of fell to the wayside, as well as being able to throw runners out. My argument of the art of catching being gone is if the automatic strike zone comes in. If we see the automated strike zone, the need for framing is done. Therefore, the only emphasis you have is to limit base running and stealing. So that guy could set up sideways. That guy could set up however he wanted to. He could basically stand halfway up if he wanted to. So it's going to be interesting to see if the automated strike zone comes. But overall, I think he's right. I mean, we don't see a lot of offensive production out of catchers. And when you hear like former players and things like that, they're mainly talking about their hands. When you're sitting there and you're receiving 95 plus over and over and over, hands you get beat up, man. They get beat up. And I bet if you were to look at numbers for catchers offensively in their third or fourth AB, probably significantly lower. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go. I'm fearful, and I caught growing up, and I love the art of catching. I think catchers are the baddest dudes on the field many times. So it's going to be tough to see it phase out this way. But if that automated strike zone comes, which it probably will, you're going to see a significant refocus on everything else. Getting offensive numbers up and just hosing dudes at second and third.
To AJ's second point, the City Connect, don't want to drag this point out any more than we need to. Look, I thought about it. I thought more about how we've been called out more than once for extending our discussions about the City Connect jerseys too far. So I'm genuinely at the point now where I'm over it. Like
I am too. Pretty much done.
Like I'll comment on it when a new one drops. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh yeah, they could have did better. But like I'm at the point now where I don't even need to.
Yeah.
Like I can't, dude. I just don't have the energy for it. I don't have the bandwidth for it anymore. It's kind of wearing on me. And I think Nike is seeing the writing on the wall a little bit with some of the blowback where it's just like they're not even trying it. Like we talked about last episode, there's zero substance to it, and
Nike doesn't know baseball.
No, they don't.
And like you can come at me for saying that, but when you really break it down, they don't know baseball. In what way do they know baseball? Because equipment's gone. Outside of cleats and sleeves, occasional wristband, Nike is not involved. They're like the ESPN of clothing brands. They don't care about baseball. So this is pretty much par for the course.
It's the best way to put it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. What I do want to talk about is the Texas Rangers.
City Connect uniform. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I wanted to revisit that. I wanted to discuss the black pants a little bit more because I really don't feel like we talked about it enough the first time around.
Someone is just hammering that pause back button right now, throwing something else on. They've left us.
You always say that, and you need to stop encouraging. You need to stop giving people that idea to do that.
Stay. Just stay. Trust. We'll bring the juice.
Nathan Eovaldi is bringing the juice. I will say I may have mentioned his name a couple times on this program, but I have not given him the respect that he's due. Collectively, we have not given him the respect he's due. Nope. The man is a machine right now.
Pretty much.
It's gross. Like he's averaging. Let me pull some numbers here. From Jared Krabus on Twitter, he said after his complete game tonight, meaning last night, Tuesday night, over his last 5 starts, Nathan Eovaldi is averaging 8.1 innings per start with a .86 ERA, a .67 WHIP, and 35 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings. The next closest pitcher has 34 1/3 innings pitched over that span. Same amount of starts.
What is this attributed to?
I cannot figure it out. And it worries me. It truly worries me after watching this guy for a handful of years. I hate the thought, but it's a reality. It's a possibility here that an injury is looming. Because we've seen how this pitch clock has affected the league as a whole. And you take a guy like Nathan Eovaldi, who's been a horse for you, especially in the absence of Jacob deGrom, and he's going 7, 8, 9 every 5th day. I am extremely worried for what potentially lies around the corner. I would never hope that. I would never wish that. But for a guy who has the history that he does,
yeah, you know him. You definitely know him.
It's rather concerning. He's as of his start. Well, I guess as of today, as of Wednesday, the only pitcher with multiple complete games.
That's pretty impressive.
He had 2 complete games the previous, I think it was like 11 years.
That's wild.
And he has 2 already.
Can we say Mike Maddox is the difference? I mean, the guy's a genius.
It's probably a much more realistic option. My linear brain and kind of just like goofy brain at times was just thinking like, oh, he's back home. He's in Texas. Like that has to, I'm not saying that he's not averaging 8 1/3 because he's back in Texas, but I'd like to think that being back home, like close to home, plays a role in that.
Sure. I think, I haven't looked at like splits of how many starts he's had on the road versus home, or if he's been that much better at home. It's not like Rangers Stadium is like, massive. It's probably still considered a hitter's ballpark, but not nearly to the extent that Fenway is. You know what I mean? And you see it a lot, with like Yankee Stadium, where pitchers have to specifically attack hitters based on where they are. And so maybe there's a little something there. You know what I mean? He's freed up almost. He's allowed to pitch to guys the way he wants to pitch to guys without having to worry about the monster in left or pesky pole and things like that. So maybe that's a factor, but I would probably lean on the side of Mike Maddox. I mean, we're talking about an absolute genius of a pitching coach. And I bet there's a little bit of old school mentality of, and I haven't watched his starts as much, but I would go ahead and assume Bruce Bochy being the old school way, letting guys figure things out, get through that. It's not just, hey, as soon as we get through the, to the third part of the third time through the lineup, we're just going to pull you. It's more of like, hey, figure this out. So you're talking about guys being able to go deeper. It's excellent. And we gotta look back to, like, what was the performance he had in the World Series against the Dodgers?
I was going to say,
like, he's got that dog in him.
He's got the dog. I love what he's doing for this team right now, because for a guy who previously at different parts in his career has struggled with the home run. Nathan Eovaldi is instilling the confidence that he was instilling in that World Series when he's in Game 3 at Dodger Stadium, going 6+ in relief, and you didn't think for a second that he was going to lose that game. It didn't end up the way he or the team wanted, obviously. But you're just waiting. You're like, all right, when's Boston going to score? This game's over, because Nathan Eovaldi's not giving up a single run with the way he's pitching right now. And that's how he's pitching every fifth day right now. The Rangers, especially the bullpen, they're kicking back going, all right, automatic win here. We can take a day off. You need that. And he's given, again, especially in the absence of DeGrom, he's giving you everything he can give you.
The biggest point right there. And that's like a true veteran, world champion type mindset. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're down a guy. We're down the guy. So I got to be the guy. He's stepping up and he's doing it. Martin Perez has kind of slid a little bit. You know what I mean? Started off hot, now he's kind of scuffling a little bit. Andrew Heaney has been pretty solid, but not like, I think last year Andrew Heaney was just different. I don't know if he's ever going to get those again, but he's being that guy. And you talk about the rotation he came from. He had to be the guy in Boston with Chris Sale being so in and out. He's got that dog in him. It's easy to see it. It's easy to root for. And it's like this, the Rangers, just this land of like, doubt us. Just doubt us.
I mean, you got Nathaniel Lowe coming out, or is it Lowe or Lau? I can never remember.
Lowe. He's Lowe.
Lowe. And then there's Josh
Lau.
Brandon Lau. Is it Josh Lau as well? Or is that Josh Lowe?
That's Josh Lowe.
Unreal. We need to get... okay.
Brandon Lau, I think, is the only Lau.
Okay, so Nathaniel Lowe, you got him coming out saying... I don't think I'm paraphrasing here. He's basically saying the division is theirs to lose. And to your point, Eovaldi is giving you what you need. I mean, he's gone 5 straight starts of 7+, which is the longest streak in Major League Baseball this year. No one else has more than 3. He's gone 4 games of 8+, which is the most in baseball. No one else has more than 2. He's given you 7 quality starts, 7 straight quality starts.
I think there are a few teams that don't even have 7 quality starts.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. And to cap it all off, he has inserted himself into the Cy Young conversation, which I love Eovaldi. I will be the first to say, I think when the season was up last October or September or whatever, and we're talking about whether or not we're extending Eovaldi, I was admittedly like, I could go either way. I mean, he had a rough tenure last year, especially with the home runs. So I can't pretend like, oh, what are you doing? Why didn't we bring this guy back? Like, they gave him an offer, but like, nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. Not to mention Marcus Semien, another like leads all of baseball in WAR right now.
Under the radar.
What are we even talking about? What is going on in Texas right now?
I know.
And he's like, what did I see correctly? A 14-game hitting streak?
I like it.
On base streak of 22 games. What is going on?
Seager's back. He's doing Seager things.
You got Josh.
Young.
Bro, okay.
It's just young.
Okay.
Yeah.
You knew.
Right.
You knew where I was going.
Yeah.
So I saw this tweet. Forgive me. I can't remember who put it out there. The Rangers franchise record for RBIs by a rookie was Adolis Garcia. No, not last year. 2021 with 90. He's on pace right now for 112 RBIs as a rookie. Oh, and by the way, he's 5th in the American League Rookie of the Year race. Oh, and by the way, coming into Wednesday, hit 3 home runs in 3 games.
Do we know who the GM of Texas Rangers is?
Yes. Who was it? No, not the New York Rangers. Chris Young, that's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that and I was like, that's
crazy. That's super weird to consider, like, even think about that. Yeah, but yeah. For those who don't remember, very tall, lanky dude who used to pitch for a while. I think it's time to go Braves mode. Braves mode with extensions on. I love Jonah Heim.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jonah Heim
another
is
guy we haven't even mentioned.
Yeah, I think he's capable of being a top 5 catcher.
He's gelling from what I've heard on all accounts, gelling very well with the staff, especially Eovaldi.
Love hearing that. Adolis and Young, like, extend them now. Get it done.
But while I agree with you, I think my hesitation comes with a guy like Young, because immediately my mind goes to Jonathan India, where I'm like, maybe we don't jump the gun just yet. Maybe we let this play out a little bit. Because at least with Garcia, you've seen it for somewhat of an extended period of time. But Young, I would just be hesitant. And even you talk Braves mode, you look at a guy like Michael Harris. Guy's been banged up. And I know it's not necessarily his fault, but it's, and I know you run that risk with whether you're a rookie or not, but it's just one of those situations where I would caution you. That's all.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that Braves mode is an extension that doesn't hurt you. An extension that doesn't break the bank. And then you have that where, okay, we have a potential superstar that we got at this price, or, hey, he didn't pan out, but at least we only paid for this. You know what I mean? I think there's a fine line where you can find that middle ground. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's probably like didn't Ozzy Albies get something stupid where it was like 7 years for 90 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think he
pushing to over 100.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he broke 100. No,
I could see something like that where
was
it's
it
like
85? Why did I feel like it was 85?
all the Braves fans that all of our listeners are screaming at us.
The Braves fans fall asleep reciting the contract
Oh, yeah,
details
dude.
of all of their stars. Like that's how they fall asleep. They don't count sheep. They don't
They have
use
a
white
framed
noise.
picture of Anthopoulos on the bedside where they kiss him,
Bro,
and then they roll over and go to sleep.
I don't know who we're thinking of. It wasn't Ozzy Albies. Ozzy Albies signed a 7-year, $35 million contract. What are we even...
There you go. Perfect. Do something like that for Josh Young, Jonah Heim. 5 years, 40.
I guess.
You know what I mean? And those guys get out of the arbitration. They get out of, getting league minimum. And there's some safety and comfort. But what I'm saying is that, like, the Rangers have this same build-up going. They have this same momentum of a core coming together. And you see that, like, I think the Blue Jays missed their window. I think they missed their window on Vladdy and Bo. You know what I mean? Because it's like you got to start committing to those guys sooner. The longer they wait, the higher that paycheck gets.
And to that point, we're not businessmen. We're not general managers. We're not part of any ownership groups. But is it just me, or is there an obvious sex appeal to having a young core come up? Look at what the Orioles are doing.
I know.
Look at what the Braves are doing. Like, why not secure those guys to your point, at a reasonable rate? Like, don't go crazy. Don't run any sort of risk right out of the gate with these guys, but secure them enough to where they're financially happy. They're pleased.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready to be part of the movement.
Yeah.
And like promote the crap out of that. Like get the t-shirts printed, get certain aspects of the stadium, like some sort of like what they're doing in Miami. It's not really the same thing, but like I think of what do they got down there in Miami? Like Sandy's Beach or something. It's like a little like fan section. Like I love stuff like that. Incorporate that somehow. There's something incredibly appealing about having a young group, whether it be 2, 3, 4, however many, that you can build around for years to come. It's like we were just talking about in the voicemail. The NBA guys are come and gone, but when you can have in baseball, when you can have a group of guys that sticks around and you can market that and you can build on that and you can get the success from those guys, that's incredible.
Not a single miss. Not a single miss in that statement.
Thank you.
Get everybody corralled. How do you like that Texas term right there? Get them all corralled. Sign them up, lock them up. Keep your core together. I don't know if is it Adolis or Adolis? What's better?
I would say Adolis. I think it's Adolis from what I've heard. I think it's
Adolis.
I
like
Adolis.
that. It feels right. It just feels right. I could see him probably saying no and pushing it a little bit and maybe trying to hit a free agency because he's a stud. That dude's built like a superhero. He's a stud. And what is he? I think he's top 5 in home runs in the league right now, right?
Adolis Garcia is tied for 3rd in all of Major League Baseball with 14 home runs, as many as Aaron Judge, and that's coming into the Yankees game. They play tonight, correct?
Yes.
So
yeah,
Judge,
they're on right now, playing those right now.
Yeah, Judge very well may break that, but as of this particular moment, tied with Judge with 14 home runs, 3rd in all of baseball, leads all of baseball with 49 ribbies, and is on pace for give or take 175 RBIs right now.
Yeah.
That's like MVP 2005 numbers right there.
He's probably, I don't know if you can afford him at this point with the amount of money that's tied up between just your big 3, Seager, Semien, and DeGrom. The rest of your rotation has definitely cost some money this past offseason. But I think there's a way to really tie in and kind of just keep everybody locked in. But my two would definitely be Jonah Heim, Josh Young, maybe Nathaniel Lowe.
Yeah. You're also going to need, last thing I'll say on this, but you're definitely going to need to spend some money on the bullpen, at some point or make some moves because they have an awful bullpen. Atrocious. 4th worst in baseball. 4.74 ERA, by the way.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. Like, if you can get your guys on a budget and lock that down, you don't even have to worry about them. You just focus elsewhere. And you don't want to risk going to arbitration hearings with guys that young. You know what I mean? Like, you hear so many horror stories of the hearings and guys getting their feelings hurt and then, wanting to leave the organization. It's like, you don't want to mess around with that. Get them their money now. Get them while they're cheap. Go focus on your bullpen.
Let's talk about some dudes. Some good, some bad. Look, full transparency, I put this particular individual at the top of the list because I wanted to get the negative out of the way so we could focus on some more positive things going around the league. But then he goes out and silences his own mother's boos today with a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th. Trea Turner, who I originally had on this list for his struggles, and not that one swing necessarily negates said struggles, but
it can ignite something.
That can certainly turn something around moving forward. But some of the numbers I had on him prior to said home run, leading up to the home run, he was 2 for 20 on the homestand.
Tough.
He was hitting 213 over the last month. Was hitting 175 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure the listeners have seen it. But that post going around talking about where he was at in comparison to his WBC numbers.
Yeah.
Before he hit the home run, he had 5 in the World Baseball Classic. He had played in 6 games, had 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. And I'm pretty sure before that home run, it was 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. And that was in 46, 47 games.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of focus on him right now, but it's not like the Phillies lineup is just absolutely lighting it up. Schwarber is off to a slow start, which I'm sure if we looked at splits, he would probably normally be doing this. So not time to overreact.
No, but I think that puts
much.
Pressure on him.
That's what I mean, though. It's like the rest of the lineup is struggling too. So it's like the superstars feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The superstars feel the pressure before anyone else. So I think he's fine, dude. And I wouldn't be worried. If I'm a Phils fan, I wouldn't be worried.
It's just tough because the ink hasn't even dried on that 11-year contract.
Yeah. Was it that long? Are you serious? 11 years?
Yeah, wasn't it? It's like 11,300, I think. That contract, I'm confident on.
Dang. 11 years.
Yeah,
well,
11,300.
That's all right. He'll be fine.
He'll be all right. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 16-game hitting streak as of Wednesday. I think he had the day off today, so.
Is it just me, or like, can you just not help but compare him to Varsho because of the trade? You know what I mean? Like you're always just gonna sit there and compare the two guys.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now, not to mention Moreno being in that deal.
All I know is I would have loved to see Varsho be a part of what the D-backs got going on right now. Maybe not in this particular moment in the season, but just the 2023 D-backs movement as a whole.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. It's an exciting.
They got something going.
Whatever you want to call it going on.
They got something going. Talking about a new stadium maybe next year. couple years.
What was that about? That kind of went under the radar. Also, super quick side note, the whole A's reaching a tentative agreement with Vegas now for the stadium.
Yeah. I think they're tearing down a casino, right? Or a hotel.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, there's like an actual spot there that they're taking down.
Oh, so they know like exactly where it's going at this point?
Yeah.
Or just about?
Yeah, I think the land there's an agreement on specifically the land. So good stuff.
That's a stupid comment on my part. Of course you'd have to know exactly where it's going. You're not just going to
Probably
not just going to write a check and then on the memo line just put land.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably not.
Safe bet.
Probably not. So it's D-backs are doing a little something, and it's about time. It's about time. People are really still hanging on to 2001 around here.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that much out there. I mean, granted, it was World Baseball Classic, so it was a little different, but like I didn't see much like...
Well, it's because there's not really like true Diamondback fans around here, mostly Dodger fans. But if you run into Diamondback fans around here, oh yeah.
Well, that's human nature. You're gonna latch on to the last good thing you had, and for D-backs fans, that was 2001,
a hot minute ago. So,
or if you want to, I mean, it wasn't exactly a great moment, but the last positive moment that I can think of, I just picture Archie Bradley's face at third base. Can you picture it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's
got that crazy look in his face. Was that the wild card game?
Yeah.
And I don't even think they won that game, did they?
No.
That was the
No, they did. Did they?
No, I think they lost that game. Who did they play? It was the... Why do I want to say the Rockies? Do you remember what year that was?
I can't imagine it being the Rockies. I don't know, but I picture JD Martinez hitting the 3-home run game.
Bro, it was the Rockies. Come on now.
Really?
The recall, minus Ozzy's contract, has been incredible.
2018?
2017 NL wildcard game, or it was the play-in game, 2017 D-backs Rockies, Chase Field. Yep, and that would have been the Archie Bradley game.
Anyway, Lourdes Gurriel, yeah, keep doing it. Have you seen their little celebration that they do in the outfield after a game?
By the way, no. What do they do?
They all take their hats off, just let the flow, let the lettuce out.
I like it.
'Cause Corbin Carroll's got the lettuce too, and
how do we feel?
Who am I forgetting?
How do we feel about Carroll's goatee? Why do I feel like it makes him look like he's 36?
He looks like a man-child.
He does.
He's not big.
You know who just came to mind? And I mean no disrespect here.
Joe Dirt?
No. Who's that guy? This probably sound terrible, but I don't know why. But who's that little dude? Lord Farquaad or whatever.
Oh no, the hair. It's definitely the hair. It's like the straight hair. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Corbin Carroll of animated characters. Come on.
Tough.
Throw a goatee on Lord Farquaad, and that you got Corbin Carroll.
That's tough. I like Corbin Carroll.
I love Corbin Carroll, but we maybe need to take a look at the goatee.
Man, you're probably right. I think if he goes clean shaven, then he really is Lord Farquaad. So what can he do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough.
I'd be down for just the stash, maybe.
Yep. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I can get on board with that. I can also get on board with, oh God, I really just set myself up for another
These
challenging
names.
name. Yennier Cano.
Sure. I've just been calling him Cano. I've avoided the first name as much as I can.
I mean, full transparency, in my notes, when I throughout the week, when I'm just writing down names of guys I want to get notes on later, I literally put Cano and in parentheses Orioles because I didn't know the guy's first name. Yennier Cano.
Just say it fast, yeah.
He's got a .35 ERA. He's got a whip of .39. Opponents are hitting 120 off of him, and he has 28 strikeouts with 0 walks in 25 2/3 innings as of Wednesday. He gave up 23 runs in 18 innings last season.
Yeah, what happened?
You want to talk about a 180.
Let me see. Did he change? There's got to be some pitching changes here.
No, you know what it was? He was playing in that dump up in Minnesota. I don't know why I don't like Minnesota so much. Just everything about that organization, that field. I hate it all. And he probably hated it too.
It's garbage. Just garbage.
That's
Please hold.
Gross. And what was the mark that we were watching? Was it the first run he allowed, or the first, or no, it couldn't have been a walk. He doesn't have any walks. He allowed his first run of the season, just the other night, right?
Yeah, just the other night. I don't remember who against.
I mean, that's just gross.
Oh, okay. So basically cut out his slider. Last year he was throwing his slider at a 27% clip. This year it's down to 8%.
Are you on Fangraphs right now?
Sure am.
Nate's like a
Fastball
kid in a
percentage has
candy
gone
store
up.
right now with Fangraphs. He was
Once
telling
you
me
figure it
before-
out, it's cool.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we got on. He's like, man, I love Fangraphs. Now he's just going to Fangraphs for everything.
It's cool, man. Yeah, fastball percentage has gone up from 42% up to 53%. So he's basically just ditched the slider.
Which
We're
takes
going
some
fastball changeup.
cojones. Takes some cojones to dwindle your arsenal a little bit. Guys are always looking to add to it, but for guys with the self-awareness to be like, this clearly is not working, I'm going to go with what I know.
It's got to be a new grip too. It's more of, I think it's a sinker. It's a hard sinker. And his ground ball percentage in 2022 was at 49%. This year it's at 70%.
That'll do it.
So he's keeping the ball on the ground. He's chucking it hard. And he's like a copy paste of Bautista. They're the same gigantic human being.
Yeah, those are big boys. Big boys.
I mean, we sat there and wondered what were they thinking when Jorge Lopez was dealt. Makes sense now.
We just said it the other day. They clearly knew something
They knew.
that the rest of baseball didn't, because I mean, that's disgusting. A .35 ERA and a .39 whip. Come on.
Different. Man's is different.
Nolan Gorman,
Heard of him?
National League Player of the Week. Currently slashing .301, .392, .636. Another guy, a la Nathan Eovaldi, who we have not given due respect to.
I love it.
Given due props to.
I love
This
it.
is just
I've been hearing about this kid since high school, dude. Everyone's been raving about this kid for years out here.
This is what we call just the props episode. Just props all around.
Pats on the back.
Nolan Gorman crushing it, quite literally. Second in ribbies with 39, third in home runs. I think these are National League ranks, but still. Second in RBIs, 39, third in home runs with 13. First in OPS plus at 175, first in weighted runs created plus at 172, first in slug at 622, fourth in, remind me, WPA? I'm blanking.
WAPA.
Weighted
pizzas. Agriculture.
Yep. Yep. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Dude, I know what this is. Please hold. Oh, of course. Win probability added. I don't know why I was going weighted there. Win probability added.
But
I need to double check here because I don't want to cut this guy short. I tried to type in Nolan Gorman. I typed in Norman.
Do you think he's also named after Nolan Ryan? When was the last time we had two guys on the same team, not just the same first name, but also named after the same person?
That's some good trivia
Stats that don't matter.
Do not know the answer to. No, what I was saying is I didn't want to cut the guy short if those were MLB ranks, but those are indeed National League ranks. But still.
That's all right. Did you see his little emotion the other day?
Possibly.
Little intentional walk to Goldie to get to him. Then he pops one, slams his bat down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The bat spike.
Yeah. That's dope.
Dope.
And can we just talk about, like, for a prospect to, I love hearing when a prospect adapts. That guy's a third baseman. You know what I mean? And for him to come into the organization and understand, okay, if I want to be here, I got to make it work elsewhere. For him, I don't know. I don't think that's talked about enough. It's very hard to do that. The guy's been at third his whole career with high school, with going up through the minor league system, to be able to slide over to second base and still have the productivity. It's really impressive. So, yeah.
Agreed. And I myself spent a little time on Fangraphs today. I pulled this little nugget for you.
What?
He's slugging 1.655. That's not like OPS. He's slugging 1.655 when he pulls the ball in the air.
Dang.
Fangraphs continues. For comparison, Jose Ramirez and Alex Bregman have career marks in the 1.25 range.
Interesting.
I did a little deep dive on some of the adjustments. You talking adjustments? Some of the adjustments he's made.
You made adjustments to find the adjustments. Well, that's impressive.
Right on.
I didn't realize Bush had that type of situation going out to right. I feel like every time, I know the Cardinals had a rough start. It's well documented. But I feel like anytime I'm seeing highlights from them, it's like a clutch home run from Brendan Donovan or Nolan Gorman, or like a clutch knock from Nootbaar or Tommy Edman. It's like, just wait until Goldie gets right. You know what I mean? Just wait until superstars are really doing superstar things. They're going to be good.
Where did I just see? It's ironic that you mentioned that because Lars Nootbaar did something just now, just moments ago. What did he do?
Right this second? They're currently losing to the Reds. They just lost to the Reds. That's how you say final.
Yeah, he popped one. Popped one in the 7th. Or no, is that the 5th? Why did I say 7th? Yeah, so I mean, it's somebody different every night. I told you, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're going to be fine, especially if Nolan Gorman's, if he keeps playing out of his mind like he is. Another guy that's just playing out of his mind, continuing in the thread of giving props, Christopher Morel.
Oh, my goodness.
Entering Wednesday, 5 straight games with a home run, 9 home runs in 12 games this season. The first player in Major League history to home run 5 straight games from 5 different spots in the order, which
Hang on.
may not sound like a lot to your average listener or your average fan.
That's wild.
That is insanely difficult to do because
wild
we all,
on David Ross's part as well.
for sure,
They're like, oh, bop, I'm going to slide you down. Bop, I'm going to slide you up. Bop, I'm going to slide you down.
We know how routine-oriented baseball players can be. They like having the peace of mind of knowing where they're going to be on the lineup card when they go to check it each day. And when you're just sliding all over and you're still going out there, bop, bop, 5 nights in a row.
Dude, but that's what I'm saying is that this guy, you saw his comments last year. He's like always smiling. He's always cheerful. He's just grateful for the opportunity and the situation and just everything. It's like, how do you not root for this guy? How do you not?
First Cubs player to home run 5 straight games since Sammy Sosa back in 1998.
Whoa.
And I don't know why, but I wanted to do like a little guessing game here because it's so random. There's no way you'd really know. But I'll give you we can play like a little mini 20 question kind of game here. Since 1901, only 4 Major League players have hit 9 home runs in their first 12 games. Can you name the other 3? I'll give you a hint.
What one of them is the guy that's with the Reds, Aquino.
No, but that's a great guess
name?
though. That's
is
a
that?
great guess.
Dang it!
It's not him.
He went off his rookie year,
He did.
then disappeared.
Aristides Aquino.
Yeah, there it is. I was gonna switch. I thought Aquino was his first name. I got to name 5 of them.
3. He's the 4th. There's 3 others. 3
Since what year?
Since 1901, but I'll give you a hint.
Oh boy.
We're talking 70s on.
Okay.
And these guys bounced around from my recollection, but I'm just going to say predominantly National League players.
And they like bounced around?
No, I'm saying like they could have like slid to a team late in their career or something, but when you think of these players, think National League. I'll give you let's see if you can guess one of them. I'll give you a 20 question. We'll play a little quick 20 questions here. We'll keep it quick.
See a lefty.
One of them is, yeah. A couple of them. Actually, all of them might be. No, 2 or 3, I think.
Oh boy. Have we watched them play on TV?
I tell you what, let's do this to make it easier. We'll go with the most recent.
Okay.
Rather than just leave it open range. We'll go with the most recent. Okay.
Fair.
Is a lefty. Think National League.
Yeah. And we've watched him play on TV?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah. We've watched him on TV. Yeah.
And what was the stat again? 9 home runs in first.
9 home runs in their first 12 games. 9 plus, because I do think a couple of these guys, it was actually more. I think one in particular.
Was he known for taking steroids?
Yeah. Let me fact check here. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. That's a great I didn't think you'd go there like immediately, but
thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good. That weeds out a lot of people.
It kind of does. Kind of does.
Okay, so I will just say alleged. Without doing too much, like, I mean, I could do a deep dive here, but I'm just going to say alleged.
I mean, I gotta think of better questions now.
What are you at? 4? I think you're at 4 questions.
Okay. Clean shaven or facial hair?
Facial hair.
All right. World Series champ?
Yes.
That's a good question too.
That's a great question.
Oh, all right. All right. So I need to recap here. So we've got
Lefty,
we've seen him play. Lefty.
We've seen him play.
Facial
Facial hair.
steroids. Facial hair.
World Series champion.
And National League. That was a free one though. It was a freebie.
Yep.
I
think you can get
East
it in
Coast
10.
or West Coast.
You can get it. You can get this in 10. West Coast. We don't have many games on this podcast, so I wanted to. I thought of this earlier. I was like, yeah, it seems like a good guessing game. So feel free to play along.
All right. This is tough. So we're talking West Coast. He is a World Series champ.
7.
And we watched him play. He has facial hair. Had facial hair. Infielder?
I believe he possibly changed at one point in his career. Let me check. I just want to be factually accurate here.
Changed in his career.
What did you? No, I thought, but I think. Yeah. Well, technically he was both, but predominantly outfield.
Okay. All right.
8.
Lefty, predominantly outfield, facial hair, World Series champion. No, I don't think he's a World Series champion.
I'll give you a free hint.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
His facial hair is rather similar to an individual with facial hair who we've already discussed on this very episode.
All right. All right. That was Lord Farquaad Carroll.
And what facial hair does he have?
Goatee and a world champion. Oh, boy. And we watched him play live. We're not talking like highlights and replays and stuff, right?
I mean, yes. Yeah. I can't say for certain if you saw this individual, but like, yeah, he was on while we were presumably like watching baseball. Yes.
And we're talking NL West.
Yes. Although I never said West, so.
I said East Coast or West Coast. You said West.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I forgot you asked that question. Yeah.
Okay.
National League
All
West.
right.
Yeah.
All right. And a world champion. So
I'm going to give you 2 more guesses here.
2 more questions or guesses?
Or 2 more questions, yeah.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
No. No.
All right, so steroids definitely in play there. Oh, this is so tough, dude.
I give you one more question, and then you get 3 guesses, and that's it. But we're gonna need to pick it up here.
I'm just gonna drop it. Luis Gonzalez.
Nailed it.
Oh, let's go.
Very well done. Yeah,
All
so that
right.
was a very, very roundabout way of saying that
He definitely took steroids, by the way.
he was on the 03 list. I'll just say that.
Yeah. His hands are ridiculous.
That was a very roundabout way of saying Chris Morel is the 4th player since 1901. The others mentioned Luis Gonzalez. He had 9 in his first 12 games in 2001. Larry Walker had 9 in 1990.
That was going to be my other guess.
There you go.
I was thinking Larry, but I was like, oh, not a world champion.
Larry Walker,
and he's in the Hall of Fame. So
9 in 1997. And then Mike Schmidt had 11 home runs.
Mike Schmidt, nice.
In those first 12 games in 1976.
All facial hair. Is Larry Walker a champion? I don't think so.
Don't think so.
Montreal, St. Louis, Colorado. I don't think so.
Was he on the 06 team?
No.
No.
He had to retire in like 02. If I was to guess.
No, dude, because no. Now you got me going off on a tangent. You've got it all backwards. He retired in 05, so just a season short. Just missed it. With St. Louis.
Tough one.
Anyway, yeah, props to all those guys. There's, as always, there's probably a couple we're missing, but I had this thought. We need to have people that are listening who are more in tune with like their particular team, who, like, understandably so, we're not going to be able to we're not going to be in depth on every single team out there. So if there's if there's a storyline, if there's a player that's just lighting the world on fire that somehow has gone under our nose, let us know about it. Hit us up in the DMs. Leave a voicemail.
Whoa.
There you go. Let us know, and we'll do our best to include it in the coverage. But with that said, weekend series to watch, kind of wrapping it up here. I've got the Rangers at the Orioles. Game 1, we've got Friday, John Gray versus TBD. Game 2, we've got Andrew Heaney versus TBD. And Game 3, we've got Dane Dunning versus TBD. So really great pitching matchups coming your way this weekend from Baltimore.
Sick. Well, I've got Dodgers Rays down at the Trop. You got Syndergaard going against TBD. Kershaw going against TBD. And then young stud Gavin Stone going against, you guessed it, TBD. I'm not going to watch a single pitch of that series. I'm very confident in saying that. I won't see a single pitch of that series.
I mean,
so watch it for me.
More times than not, this is for everyone else. Like, we kind of have a feeling, like, I'll tell you right now, the teams that I'm watching are, and this is a very like interesting list. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but like for me, you would have never guessed. I'm watching the Red Sox. I'm watching the Padres. I'm watching the Pirates. And now I'm tuning in for Pirates games. If I see them, if I got nothing going on, I'll flip them on. And now I'm watching the Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers are now on my list. Padres are in and out for me. Angels are in and out for me. Just being on the West Coast, it's really easy to throw those games on like while you're cooking dinner kind of thing. Get a couple ABs from Shohei. Honestly, the Braves have pretty much always been in the rotation for me as well. So this little feature on MLB TV where you got the one screen and then the 3 little screens, that's my go-to.
I like going 4 rectangles. I give them all equal love.
Well, I do that with other games. If the Yankees are on, those guys are on the big one.
Well, with my relationship,
that needs to be a feature on the TV app, by the way.
It does. Yeah.
Figure it out.
What I was going to say, though, is with my current relationship with the Boston Red Sox, you would understand.
They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
You would understand why I got to balance it out a little bit.
Valid.
That's all.
Fair enough.
That's all we got. We'll see you guys. I don't know when we're going to see you because next Monday is Memorial Day. Have a safe weekend. Make sure to remember like what the weekend's really about. Like it's not about the clearance sales. It's not about the day off. It's not about the barbecue. Just take some time this weekend, even if it's just a few minutes. Just take some time to remember what it's all about.
I like that.
That's all. So all that to say, don't know when we'll see you guys next. It may be early next week. We may just catch up with you guys mid to late next week. Time will tell. But have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
Also, party up a little bit. I'm gonna. So, yeah. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.